Okay, good morning. Thank you very much for coming this morning, both in studio and on Zoom. So just to have a tennis ball with you and either like a stretchy band or a towel or something. I might forget to do that anyway. So see how it goes. We'll start just lying down on your back. You can bend your knees, have your feet on the floor. And just wrap your shoulders around backwards so your shoulder blades kind of feel flat on the floor. You can rest your hands on your belly, or you can bring your hands down to the ground with the palms facing up. Tuck your chin in slightly so the back of your neck feels long. And close your eyes. Bring your breath down into your belly. Feel your belly rise and fall as you breathe. Allow your body to connect a little deeper with the earth beneath you. And allow yourself to be right here in this space. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your day. Time to strengthen your mind, time to strengthen and stretch your body. And of course, I would like to thank you for joining me. Take 2 more slow breaths here. And then wiggle your fingers and bend your elbows. So your elbows are on the ground and your hands are up towards the sky. Your fingers are towards the sky. Adjust your feet, bringing your heels in a little closer to your hips. Open your eyes. And then press your feet into the ground and lift your hips off the mat, reaching your heart away from your knees. Press the upper part of the arm, the elbow, and the shoulder into the mat. Keep allowing your belly to move with your breath. Slowly release your hips back down to the ground. Let your hands come all the way down to the mat. Keep your feet where they are, and you're going to lift your hips this time and lift your arms straight up overhead. Nice, smooth, flowing movements. And then as you exhale, you're going to release your hips slowly and let your hands come right back down to the ground, moving with your hips. Inhale, push the feet into the ground, lift the hips, lift the hands. Exhale, lower the hips and lower the hands. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the hands. Exhale, lower the hips and lower the hands. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the hands. And exhale, lower the hips, lower the hands. And then release the tension through the legs. Pull your knees in towards your chest, hug them in, and rock from side to side. As we go through our class this morning, please keep in mind that this class is for you. So if there's something that doesn't feel good, if it's something that doesn't feel right, you want to change that pose so that it suits your body where you are today. And every day is different. Some days you might be a little bit stiff or sore, or if you're nursing an injury. And some days you might feel wonderful. And every time you get on the mat, it's different. So you want to pay attention to what you're doing. You don't just jump into poses. You want to move into them slowly and carefully so that the moment you start to feel that stretch, that's where you can stop and hold your pose. So as you're rocking here on the mat, just notice if there's any little bits of tension or tightness that you feel on the back, in the hips, along the spine or shoulders. Bring your knees back to the center and release your feet down to the floor. Turn your chin towards your right shoulder, keeping both shoulders flat on the floor, relaxed across the front of the chest. You can stretch your arms out from your shoulders straight out to the sides with your palms facing up. Now turn your palms so that they're facing down. Release your head back to the center and turn your head so that your chin goes towards your right shoulder. Or switching sides. Keep your palms facing down for now. And then turn the palms so that they're facing up. Release your head back into the center. Lift your hips slightly off the ground. Reach out through the tailbone to lengthen through the spine. And then release your hips back down to the ground. And I grab your tennis ball and just place it, or you can use your fist under the back of the head here. So right up at the very top of your spine, not on the spine, you want to stay to the side. And you can pick right or left side, it doesn't matter. So you're just going to, it's really like at the very base of your head where the neck meets the head. And you want to just put a little bit of pressure there with an item. So it's your fist or the tennis ball or a golf ball. And just kind of let your head roll from right to left. Notice if there's a lot of tension built up here since last week. When using the tennis ball, you always want to make sure that it is off of the spine. Just go ahead and switch sides. And also, if you feel any numbness, tingling, shooting pain, that sort of uncomfortable feeling, you want to move the ball from the area. Okay, release your tennis ball for a moment. The next one we're going to do with your tennis ball again, but you can feel free to take the tennis ball out and just use the arm movements. So you're going to place the tennis ball. We'll do the left side first. So it's just at the very top of the shoulder where your neck meets the shoulder, and you just want to tuck it down there. To make this a smaller movement, if there's a lot of tension in the area, you want to place your hand on your chest and make some small circles with your elbow. The full expression will be to bring your hand all the way down by your hips and then slowly lift your arm up towards the ceiling. Let go above the head and down towards the floor, stretched out above your head. And then drag the fingertips all along, nice wide circle, back down around towards the hips. As you do this, if there is a space that feels like it needs a little bit of extra attention, feel free to stay there. You can make your circles backwards, you can do them forwards. We're going to do about 4 or 5 on each arm. Okay, let's switch sides. Same thing, hand in towards the chest to make the movement smaller and more controlled, or a big giant sweep from the hip to the ceiling, above the head, and down along the outside. And then slowly release the ball on this side as well. Reach your arms up overhead, and you can interlace your fingers. Let your feet go down to the bottom of the mat and make yourself as tall as possible. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release the stretch. Keep your arms and your feet where they are. So now you're going to walk your feet over towards the right side of the mat. So your hips are going to stay in the center. You walk your feet over towards the right edge of the mat. You can go a little further if you need. You can back it off by bringing your feet in closer to the center line. So what you want to start to feel here is a stretch up through the left side of the leg, maybe into the hip or the lower back. And now you're going to take your arms And you're going to move your arms, your head, and your shoulders over towards the right edge of the top of your mat. So your hips are still in the center, feet are at the bottom on the right, arms and head are at the top on the right. You can keep your hands interlaced if this is okay. By moving the upper part of the body, we've taken that stretch down through the left shoulder, the rib cage. And then from the legs, you've got the hip and the lower back and the outside. To increase this stretch, take your left leg and cross it over your right. Focus on bringing your breath into your left lung. Unwind your feet if they were twisted. Slowly walk your feet back into the center of the mat. And then you're going to bring your head and your arms back into the center of the mat and just adjust your hips. Release any tension on your shoulders by bringing your hands down by the sides of the hips, kind of lifting or arching through the rib cage. You can bend the knees, lift the hips, lower the hips back down again, and then stretch your feet down to the bottom of the mat again. Walk your feet towards the left edge of the mat. Reach the hands up overhead towards the floor, interlace the fingers, and then move your hands, your head, and maybe your shoulders over towards the left corner of the mat. Feeling the stretch now through the whole right side of the body. To increase this stretch, cross the right leg over the left, crossing at the ankle. Focus on bringing your breath into the right lung this time. Stretching out all the little intercostal muscles between the rib cage. And slowly release, bringing your feet back into the center, bringing your hands, your head, and your shoulders back into the center. Sweep the arms down along the sides towards your hips. Bend your knees. Lift your hips off the ground. Reach your heart away from your knees. And release your hips down. Move your shoulders and your arms just gently on the floor. And then hug your knees into your chest and give a little rock from side to side. Release your feet back down to the floor. We're going to work on our lower back. For this one, you can use the tennis ball starting on the left side. You can also do these movements without the tennis ball. It's just going to help loosen up through the hips. So the tennis ball is going underneath the lower side of your back on the left side. It's not on your spine. It's above your hips and below your rib cage. So just in that little soft space. Lower your hips back down. Try to relax the whole area that you're working on. You're going to take your left knee now and bring it in towards your chest. I like to keep my right knee bent for this one, the one that I'm not working on, but feel free to straighten it out if that feels better for you. You're going to pull the left knee in towards your chest and then bring it out towards the left elbow and relax the left ankle. Do a little bit of movement while you're out here. Just moving the knee around. Bring that knee back into the center. Place the foot on the floor and slide the leg all the way down to the bottom of the mat. Then pull your toes up towards your face, feeling a little stretch through the calf muscle. Relax your toes. Slide your heel back in towards your hip. And we'll go through that 2 more times, making any adjustments that you need with that tennis ball under the back. Knee in towards your chest, still on the left side. And then bring it out towards the elbow. Relax the ankle and make some movements. And then you want to have control over the leg with your hands. So if you need 2 hands, you can use them just to take a bit of pressure off the muscles. Bring that knee back into the center. Place your foot on the floor. Slide the leg all the way down. Pull the toes in towards your face. And then relax the toes. Pull the foot back in towards your hip. And last time through, feel free to stay in one place if it's a better stretch for you. Knee in towards the chest. Out towards the elbow. Relax the ankle. Move your knee around. Bring the knee back into the center. Place your foot on the floor. Slide the leg straight down. Pull the toes in. Release the toes. Bend the knee again. And then we'll just switch sides. So you're going to roll to the right. Move the tennis ball and then roll to the left. Sliding the tennis ball under the right side of your lower back this time. Again, it's not on the spine, not on your hips, or on the rib cage. We're just working on the muscles here. Pull the right knee in towards your chest. Use your hands to support the pose. Bring that knee out towards the right elbow. Relax the ankle and move the knee around a little bit. Then that left knee can be bent or you can have the leg straight down. Bring the knee back into the center. Place the foot on the floor. Slide the leg forward and pull your toes back in towards the face. Nice little stretch through the calf. And then release the toes. Slide your foot back in towards your hips. Knee coming in towards the chest. Hold the leg. And then bring the knee out towards the elbow. Move it around a little bit. Bring the knee back into the center. Place your foot on the floor and slide the leg down. Pull your toes back in towards your face. Relax the foot. Bring the heel back in towards your hips. And pull the knee in towards the chest. One more time. Out towards the elbow. Relax the foot. Move the knee around. And bring the knee back into the center. Place your foot down on the floor. Slide that leg all the way down. Pull the toes in towards your face. And release. Bringing the knee back in towards the hips. Roll to the left. Remove the tennis ball, just placing it to the side. And then you're going to let both feet go down to the bottom of the mat and windshield wiper your toes. You're just going to let the legs relax and loosen up. It'll relax all the way up through the top of the hips and the muscles in the lower back. Nice deep breath in and release. And then hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Release your hands and just stretch your legs up towards the ceiling for a moment, trying to straighten out through the legs. Pull your toes in towards the face. Point your toes. Pull the toes back in. Point your toes to the ceiling. And bend the knees again, hugging your left knee in towards your chest. Let your right leg slide all the way down to the bottom of the mat. So now that right leg is fairly flat on the floor. Your ankle is relaxed. With both of your feet, pull your toes in. So they're up towards the ceiling or back towards your face. Lengthening out now through the back of the leg on the right side. Relax the feet. Wrap both hands around that left knee and hold it here. Now you're going to take the left knee, lift it away from you a little bit, bring it out towards your left elbow, and then hug it back in again. Make sure the toes and that right leg are relaxed, so you can wiggle your toes around a little bit. I think I just muted somehow. I'm back now. Okay, that's weird. So right knee is hugged in, left leg is down. Pull both feet back in towards your face so that you're lengthening through the back of the left leg. Toes are pulling in. And then release the feet. Release the tension on that. Like there shouldn't be tension, but release your hands on the right leg. Push the knee away from you a little bit out to the side, towards the right, and then pull it back in. So that's just out on the outside area of the rib cage, and you're just going to hold it here, keeping both feet relaxed, keeping the ankles relaxed. front of that left leg is relaxed and just starting to open up here. All right, slowly release, bringing both knees in towards your chest. Then stretch your feet back up towards the ceiling. Your legs don't have to be straight. Pull the toes in. Point the toes. Pull your toes in. And relax. Bend the knees again, bringing your feet back down close to your hips. And then bring the feet to the floor. We're going to use the tennis ball on the hips on that left side. So you can just lift your hips up. So lay the tennis ball on that left buttocks. Let the hips relax. Relax the muscles. Let your hips shift from side to side. Looking for any areas where there's a lot of tension or tightness. If you do find an area, you can hold the pose here and let your left knee just drop to the outside a little bit to open up the area a little quicker. You can keep it moving or you can hold in any place. Okay, let's switch sides. You're over on the right side now, same thing, either letting the hips shift from side to side or holding if there's a spot that feels tense or tight. Letting your knee drop to the side or open it up, back and forth. Okay, slowly release the tennis ball here, lower the hips back down to the floor, and then cross your left ankle over the right knee. You're gonna reach out between the legs, grab the back of the right leg and pull them in towards your upper body. From here, you wanna move a little bit side to side, so you may need to lean an inch or two to the left or to the right, and just see if there is a really good area that is there for stretching. Now you can hold this pose in this place, and you can trace the alphabet with your right ankle, or you can make shapes, or just lay here resting. From here, we're going to roll to the right. You can keep your legs twisted if you'd like, or you can release the legs so that your knees and ankles are together, stacked together. So the hips roll to the right, the legs are to the right. Try to keep your shoulders down on the ground. So if your legs go too far and your shoulder comes up, you can do a couple of things. If it feels good, then you can leave it just like that. If you think it would feel better or you want to try it with the shoulder on the ground, just kind of prop your legs up a little or use a pillow or something underneath them so your legs don't fall quite as far. Stretch your arms out from your shoulders. And either look up towards the ceiling or over towards that left hand. And now with your legs, you don't have to keep them in the exact same space. You can stretch out the bottom leg. You can stretch out the top leg out to the side. There's a lot of little different things you can do in this pose. So just move until you feel like you're in a good space and hold it here. We're going to slowly release, bringing your head, your knees, and your hands back into the center, nice and slow and easy. Lining up your hips and shoulders with the mat, so bringing your feet in close to your hips with your knees bent. Lift your hips up, stretch your tailbone away, and release the hips back down to the ground. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee now. And reach out between your legs. Grab the back of the left leg, pulling them in a little closer to the upper body until you feel a stretch through that right hip. And feel free to move the legs around, letting them shift to the right or the left. See if there's a better stretch for you. And then you can hold it there, tracing some shapes or letters with your ankle, the left ankle. Now you can release the back of that left leg. We're going to let our legs roll towards the floor on the left. Again, keeping the legs twisted or unwinding them, knees and ankles together. You can stretch your arms out from your shoulders, looking up or over at that right hand. Feel free to make any adjustments that you need with the legs. You can lower them down, straighten one or both. Slowly release here, coming back into the center with your arms, your head, your legs. Nice and slow through the movements. Place your feet on the floor with your knees bent, close to your hips. Lift your hips up off the ground. Stretch your tailbone up away from you and release your tailbone down. Bring your feet to the bottom of the mat, windshield wiper the toes. And then bring your knees into your chest. Hug them in and rock from side to side. Okay, just place your feet on the floor with your knees bent, and you can grab either a band or a strap or a towel, or you can just hold the back of your legs or your leggings. We're going to stretch your left leg up towards the sky. You can wrap something around the foot if you're using a prop. So you want to try to keep that left leg fairly straight. The right leg, you can bend the knee, or you can let that leg go down. So you'll notice if you want to try both, that it is more of a stretch through the hip area with your right leg straightened out. It might put strain on your lower back. So just pay attention to what feels the best and keeps you lined up well. Left leg is up towards the sky. Just spread your toes really wide for a moment to let the sun shine through. And then relax the toes. Use the leg now to find a good stretch so you can open it a little bit to the side. You can bring it in and cross the center line, bringing it over the other way. Or you can leave it just in the center You may also find that you get a better stretch with the knees soft, bent slightly. And you can roll that foot around as it's up in the sky, and you'll sometimes get a stretch down through the outside of the leg, through the outside of the ankle. And we'll switch sides so you can bend the left knee, switch to the right foot, stretching that right foot up overhead. And again, that left leg, you're going to either have it the knee bent or you can stretch it out. The right knee is soft or straight. You don't want to lock it out past the straight up line. And then you can just move that foot a little bit to the outside, to the inside. Just kind of swim it around looking for a good space. Spread your toes wide. And relax the toes. And then you can make some movements with the ankles. So you can kind of let it roll in, roll out. You can stretch your toes up towards the ceiling or back down towards the face. And slowly bend that right leg. Release your band or your strap. Bring both legs down to the bottom of the mat. Windshield wiper the toes. And then bring the knees into the chest, hug them in, and rock from side to side. You're going to place your feet on the floor. Knees are bent. And then you're going to let your knees open, bringing the soles of your feet together. So you can have your feet in close to your hips. You can stretch them down away from you. If you want, you can also place something underneath your knees so that they don't open any wider. Focus on your breath here again. Letting your belly rise and fall. Every breath in, your belly lifts. Every breath out, your belly falls. Take 3 more slow breaths here. And then we're going to release the pose. You can press your feet down towards the bottom of the mat. Do some movements through the legs, bending the knees, pushing the feet away. Bring your feet in close to the hips. Lift your hips slightly off the floor. And release the hips back down to the ground. And we're going to start our relaxation. So you can let yourself just melt down into the ground. Tuck your shoulders back underneath so your shoulder blades feel fairly flat on the floor. And allow your hands to rest with the palms facing up. You can let your feet open a little bit, toes to the side. And just make any adjustments that you need so that you feel comfortable and settled. You want to let your hips relax. Slow your breath down. Starting with your feet, you're going to relax your toes, the arches, and your heels. Relax your calves, the knees, thighs, and hips. Relax the muscles in your lower back. All the muscles along the spine. Your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Relax your neck, your face, and your head. Relax your eyes, the muscles behind and surrounding your eyes. Relax your lips, your mouth, and your tongue. And go inside and relax your mind. Focusing on the silence inside and the grounded stillness. Slowly draw your awareness back to your body now. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And roll over onto your side and just use your hands to press your way up into a seated position. You can cross your legs in and sit up tall, bringing your hands to your heart, or you can bring your hands together. Breathe in and out. And thank you very much for joining me this morning. Namaste. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.